Hey friends, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So if you're anything like me and you picked up a Switch recently to play Tears of the Kingdom, there's a good chance you're on the lookout for some accessories. So today I'm going to be talking about what I think are some of the best ones you can pick up without breaking the bank. Let's accessorize. So first up, if you plan on playing any games digitally, there's a good chance you'll want to look into an SD card just to improve the storage on your Switch. And this is the one that I recommend. It's the Samsung Evo Select. Also known as Evo Plus. It's a card that's just constantly recommended as it's one of the best sort of like bang for your bucks in terms of SD cards. I believe it does deliver faster read and write speeds than the Switch can handle, but you're not really spending much extra. And if you go on to sell your Switch, you can use this in something like a Steam Deck or any other bits of tech, and it's going to be nice and quick and just going to be able to perform really well no matter what you're using it on. Nothing much else to say apart from that really. It's kind of boring, isn't it? For headphones, I recommend these. These are the Soundpeats Air 3, and they're kind of like AirPod style earphones. They are absolutely tiny, which is great for travel or just slipping in your pocket. But more importantly, these sound insanely good. Like, I cannot recommend these enough. And if you don't know, I'm a music teacher in real life, and I spend a lot of time listening to different headphones and speakers and stuff. So I'm really picky about sound quality, and these are insane, and they are only 30 quid. They have so much more clarity when compared to something like AirPods, but still retain a good bit of punch with the bass, despite not having silicone tips. They're incredibly comfortable, and I honestly could wear these all day without getting fatigued, but they don't fall out of my ears. They come in some cool colors as well. I've got the black ones, but my partner Hannah has these white ones, which I think goes with the sort of Switch OLED aesthetic really well. They have a really good battery life too, easily connect up to the Switch. And they also have a low latency mode for gaming, which is absolutely sick for the Switch. If you want to go for something a little bit more premium, you can obviously get something like the Sony XM4s. I wanted to keep this accessory list kind of cheap. These are nearly as expensive as the Switch OLED. So in my opinion, every handheld needs a case, and the one I recommend is the TomTok Slim case. Now, it has to be said, TomTok are very kindly sponsoring this video, and look, I know what you're thinking, but Mike, of course you're going to recommend them. They sponsored the video, you sellout, which I do totally get. But honest to God, I had this in my basket on Amazon when they emailed me asking me to send me one. And if you don't believe me, they are one of the most highly rated cases on Amazon. You can go check out independent reviews for yourself. They are, honest to God, just really, really well made, really protective, and really cheap as well. This slim case only cost £15. It's incredibly slim and barely increases the footprint of the Switch, which is perfect for travel or shoving in a bag, but it still feels really solid and protective with this sort of like medium hard shell. And I'm very confident that this would endure 99% of daily drops and knocks. It has this really nice like soft flap on the inside for, God, that sounded really wrong. But yeah, it really nicely protects the screen while it's in the case. And on the flip side, it has room for 10 game cartridges. I went for this white one to match the OLED, but they have a ton of really, really cool colors. In particular, the gradient ones look really, really cool. They also do cases that are designed around the Hori split pads in a ton of different variations and sizes. And there's so many different ones to choose from. Yeah, go check them out. And on the TomTok hype, I also got this awesome sling bag from them too, which is absolutely sick for the Switch, but also just for daily carry, as it can fit a ton of stuff aside from the Switch in here, and it can even just about fit a Steam Deck as well, which is cool. It has a shallow front pocket with like a key holder and a couple little compartments, a pretty huge center pocket with a ton of different compartments, and the Switch fits into this slim back pocket really, really well, so it leaves all the rest of this space for other bits and pieces. A good adjustable strap with this thingy and a wide back pocket for some slimmer items too. And personally, I just think it looks really cool. Like, I'm not massively into like the gamer aesthetic, so this is a nice breath of fresh air. It's just really clean and minimal, and I've been using it for daily carry for the last like 2 weeks. They come in a ton of different sizes as well. I went for the smallest one as I like to travel light, but they have larger ones to carry laptops. They also have ones that are specially built around the Steam Deck, and like the case, they come in a ton of cool colors as well. And yeah, honestly, sponsor aside, I think these are really cool, and I've wanted one ever since my boy Phil made a video about his. Go check out his video if you want a more in-depth review. He makes much better videos than me. So just like a case, I recommend that everyone gets a screen protector for their Switch. My recommendation is the iVola one. It's really cheap, but it's really good quality. Nothing too exciting to say about this. It seems to work really well. It's got some really good reviews on it, and it's nice and cheap as well. You get 3 for £8 on Amazon, which is pretty sweet. But the biggest plus for me here is how easy this is to install. iVola include this really handy guide to put on as you're installing the protector, and it just makes it super easy to install. I'm the kind of person that anytime I try to apply a screen protector, I get bubbles, don't do it right. But with this, I've actually done a pretty good job. And that's, pretty much because the installation process for this was just so easy. So yeah, could not recommend that more. Possibly my most recommended accessory on this list is going to be this grip by Skull & Co. Now, I personally love playing in handheld, especially with the OLED screen, but I don't love the pins and needles that the Joy-Cons give me. I pointed this out in the last video I made, and everyone was like, Skull & Co. Get a grip. Oh my God, get Skull & Co. So yeah, I went ahead and got one, and it is unbelievable how much more comfortable it makes the Switch. It's pretty cheap at £19. It's super light as well, doesn't really add much weight and bulk to the console. It comes in white, blue and red, or you can get this absolutely sick Zelda edition, which I didn't see when I ordered, which I'm really annoyed at myself about. It has 3 different grip handles, small, medium or large, which is great for catering to different hands. I go between these medium ones for use around the house, and then if I'm taking it out, I use the smaller ones. As I probably shouldn't be telling you this or advising you do this, but the small handles squeeze inside of the TomTok case. I don't know if it will do any damage to the analog sticks. Doesn't feel like it to me, but yeah, it means I can take it out traveling. I've still got a very small footprint, but I still get much better comfort when compared to just the naked Switch. A lot of people also recommended the Hori split pad and the Satisfy grip. The reason I picked this over the Satisfy grip was because it was quite hard to get in the UK, but also you can dock this with the case still on, whereas the Satisfy grip you can't. And the reason I picked this over the Hori split pad was 1, because it was less than half the price. 2, because I can fit the small grips inside the case, it just means it's a good bit more portable. And 3rd, the Hori doesn't support gyro, which is a bit of a game changer for me, as I really like using the gyro with the bow in Zelda, and I would have really missed that if I hadn't gone with this. Now, in terms of a Pro controller, you can obviously go for the Nintendo one, which is super popular, looks really cool. I've also seen a lot of people really rave about the 8-bit Do one. That looks really nice and clean. But in my humble opinion, those are both lame when compared to something as cool as this. This is the Nixie Wizard controller. As you can tell, it's like a GameCube style Joy-Con. And what's cool is you can lift both sides off and connect it to the Switch. It makes it pretty big, but it is pretty cool that it can do that, I think. It does feel a tiny bit awkward to use when attached to the Switch, but yeah, when playing docked, I think it works really nicely. It has rumble, gyro, some nice LEDs, rear assignable buttons, and Hall effect joysticks, so no more stick drift. What am I doing? And for the most part, it feels great. The shoulder buttons and the D-pad feel really nice and clicky. The full height analog sticks feel really nice. However, the face buttons do feel a bit squishy. They're not quite up to the standard of something like a PlayStation 5 controller, unfortunately. It's not a massive issue for me, but it's worth bearing in mind. Now, to be fair, I do think most people would be better off getting a Pro controller. But for people like me, who are very clouded by nostalgia, I just think this is super cool, and it's my go-to controller whenever I'm playing docked. Now, I may name this video something like Switch accessories for under $50, which this is a little bit more than that. However, if you are interested in this, you can use code SteamDeckBoys to get 10% off one of these. So I think it nearly brings it to $50. It's going to be close, but yeah, I apologise if that was a misleading title, if I put it in. Alright, so that is my pick out of the best Switch accessories I think you should get if you've got one recently. I know some of these may have been a bit basic. I know a lot of people talk about things like the Skull & Co and the TomTok bag and stuff like that, but yeah, hopefully one or two of them has helped you out a little bit. If you think I've missed a really killer accessory, honestly, make sure to tell me. I'm going to be buying bits and pieces over the next 6 months as I work my way through Zelda. And on the note of Zelda, let me know how you're finding it so far, if you have picked it up recently. Have you built a big flaming penis guy yet? Have you been torturing Koroks? Feel free to let me know. All right, thanks so much for being here today. I hope you have a really good rest of your day, and I'll catch you really soon. Thanks, guys.